Surprising World of Bacteria with Max Axiom. Section 1. It's a Small World. Super scientist Max Axiom begins thinking about bacteria as he prepares a sandwich. I always like a clean counter when I make my lunch, but even the cleanest kitchens have bacteria. Although we can't see them, we're surrounded by bacteria. They've been around for billions of years. They're the smallest and simplest organisms on Earth, and bacteria are everywhere. Bacteria are in the air we breathe. They're found in the water and in the ground. Bacteria live on and inside plants and animals, and they're on us as well. Bacteria are the most abundant creatures on the planet. They may be tiny, but they have a huge impact on the world, good and bad. Let's explore the world of bacteria. For most of history, people had no idea that bacteria existed. After all, no one could see them because they're so tiny. In the 1670s, a Dutch amateur lens maker named Antony van Leeuwenhoek made a microscope. He used it to magnify objects more than 200 times. Leeuwenhoek was the first person to see and describe microorganisms. He called them animalcules, or tiny animals. He looked at bacteria in water and in the plaque on his teeth. He made notes and drawings of what he saw. And what Leeuwenhoek saw, we can still see today. Let's see the bacteria that live in pond water. Bacteria are so small you can fit thousands of them on the head of a pin. Millions can live in a drop of pond water. Bacteria consist of only one cell, but even though they're simple, they're definitely alive. There are thousands of different kinds of bacteria in the world. The microscope is a great tool, but I need to see them up close. To see bacteria firsthand, I've got to shrink down to their microscopic size. Cells everywhere. Cells are the basic unit of all living things. Every living thing is made up of one or more cells. Unlike bacteria, our bodies are made up of trillions of cells. Section 2. Bacteria up close. Bacteria come in a variety of shapes. The three most common forms are rod, globe, and spiral-shaped. Rod-shaped bacteria are called bacilli. This E. coli bacterium is found in our digestive tract. Bacterium that are globular or sphere-shaped are called cocci. Streptococcus bacteria cause strep throat. Spiral-shaped bacteria are called spirilla. The bacteria that cause Lyme disease are spiral-shaped. Like all living things, bacteria have DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA provides all the instructions to operate and copy a cell. Let's look inside a bacterium and compare it to a cell from a person. All cells can be divided into two groups, eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells have a nucleus. This membrane-covered compartment holds their DNA. Prokaryotic cells don't have a nucleus. Bacteria are prokaryotic cells. Their DNA is a long, circular molecule. The DNA is shaped like a bunched-up rubber band. Older than dinos. Scientists think prokaryotic cells were the first cells on Earth. The oldest fossils ever found are the prokaryotic cells. They are estimated to be 3 5/10 billion years old. Bacteria eat, grow, and move on their own. Some bacteria move by propelling themselves with whip-like flagella. Some bacteria are carried by moving water. Other bacteria travel on air currents or hitch rides on animals. And just like all other living things, bacteria also reproduce. Most bacteria reproduce by a process called binary fission. They copy their DNA and then divide into two identical cells. Bacteria can multiply very quickly. Under perfect conditions, many types of bacteria can divide every 20 minutes. Such conditions include warmth and plenty of food. So starting with just one bacterium, you could have trillions within 24 hours. It's getting pretty crowded. I'm out of here. Bacteria are survivors. Some types of bacteria can thrive where no other living things are found. Some bacteria live in the extremely salty waters of the Dead Sea. Bacteria have been found deep under Antarctic ice. They live in near boiling temperatures at the hot springs of Yellowstone National Park. Bacteria have been found in clouds high above Earth's surface. That's not all. About 100 trillion bacteria live in the average healthy human. Section 3, Friends and Foes. Hi Max, how was your trip to the world of bacteria? Amazing, but I'd like to explore how bacteria are good and bad for humans. Many friendly bacteria live in our bodies. Some bacteria help our bodies break down foods, such as plant starches that we can't digest on our own. Bacteria that live in our intestines also help our bodies produce important vitamins we need to live. But I also saw some bacteria that were harmful. That's true. Bacteria that cause diseases are called pathogenic. They're responsible for several illnesses, including food poisoning, strep throat, and the bubonic plague. Luckily, our bodies have a defense system against bad bacteria. I'm going to shrink back down to take a closer look at how our bodies fight back. Bad bacteria. Pathogenic bacteria can attack plants, animals, fungi, and even other bacteria. Pathogenic bacteria can create holes in leaves by releasing toxins that damage cells. Tears and saliva can break down bacteria, and the skin acts like a suit of armor, keeping invaders out. But if you have a cut or scrape, bacteria can easily get in. When your body is under attack, it sends out signals for white blood cells to come to its aid. White blood cells are part of our immune system. White blood cells can kill bacteria, but there are other ways of fighting bacterial disease. Many bacterial diseases can be prevented with vaccines. Others can be treated with bacteria-killing drugs called antibiotics. Unfortunately, some antibiotics are no longer effective. Antibiotic resistance occurs when an antibiotic can no longer control or kill bacteria. When you're sick, bacteria reproduce inside you. If you don't finish all of your medication, some of the bacteria might survive. The survivors are the ones most resistant to the antibiotic. These stronger bacteria reproduce and become harder to kill. You can end up spreading those resistant bacteria to other people. The next time those bacteria face that antibiotic, the antibiotic might not work at all. That's why scientists are always searching for new antibiotics. Section 4, Keeping Safe. The best way to stay healthy is to avoid bad bacteria in the first place. Wash your hands often to keep bacteria from spreading. Bad bacteria in food can cause food poisoning. One way to avoid food poisoning is to make sure your food is thoroughly cooked. When food is cooked thoroughly, the heat kills dangerous bacteria that might be in it. Also, make sure to refrigerate your leftovers quickly. The cold air won't kill bacteria, but it will slow their growth. But There are times we want bacteria in our food. For example, some bacteria help turn milk into yogurt. Bacteria are also used to make buttermilk, cheese, pickles, sauerkraut, vinegar, and soy sauce. Tasty bacteria. Special kinds of bacteria added to milk turn it into yogurt. The bacteria eat the milk sugar, lactose, and produce lactic acid. The lactic acid combines the milk's proteins. The once liquid milk turns into a thick and tangy yogurt. Whether bacteria are helpful or dangerous, life couldn't exist without them. Bacteria are important recyclers and decomposers in nature. They help break down dead plants and animal remains into simpler parts. This process allows plants and other living things to reuse them. Not only that nitrogen-fixing bacteria in the soil help plants. These bacteria take in nitrogen, an essential chemical that plants need to grow. The bacteria change nitrogen into a form that plants can use. Animals eat the plants. Nitrogen is part of the decaying matter and waste. Bacteria fixes the nitrogen. Plants use the nitrogen. And we're back to animals eat the plants. This is nitrogen in the atmosphere. Many animals get the nitrogen they need by eating plants. Bacteria have played a long and important role in life on Earth. Bacteria got along fine without us for billions of years. But we can't survive without bacteria. More about bacteria. Some giant bacteria are 1,000 times larger than normal bacteria. One called, whatever that is, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, is found in the intestines of surgeonfish. It's so big it can be seen with the naked eye. Anaerobic bacteria don't need oxygen to live. Anaerobic bacteria live in soil and even inside our bodies. They're mostly harmless, but if they travel to a part of the body where they don't belong, they can cause serious illness and disease. In 1928, Alexander Fleming discovered that a type of common mold could kill pathogenic bacteria. He isolated the bacteria-killing chemical from the mold and called it penicillin. It was the first antibiotic ever discovered. Bacteria that live in the stomachs of cows and other cud-chewing animals help them digest tough plants and grasses. Botulinum toxin, a poison produced by Clostridium botulinum bacteria, not sure on the pronunciation, is one of the most deadly naturally occurring substances known. Despite this fact, doctors use very small amounts of the toxin to treat some medical conditions. It is best known today for its use as Botox. It is injected into the face where it paralyzes muscles, helping reduce lines and wrinkles. Vaccines have been made for bacterial diseases such as whooping cough, diphtheria, tetanus, and Lyme disease. E. coli move by whipping their flagella. They can travel a distance equal to 25 times their length in only a second. Bacteria have changed the face of the planet. About 2 or 3 billion years ago, bacteria that use sunlight for energy emerged. They also gave off oxygen in the process. Thanks to bacteria, the oxygen we depend on started appearing in Earth's atmosphere.